Welcome to the Prime Desert Woodland Preserve. Prime Desert Woodland Preserve was actually created thanks to the Lancaster City Council and our local residents, one of them being Elise Clifford, which is who the building is named after. Elise Clifford was an environmentalist who loved nature and wanted to create something in our Antelope Valley that captured our desert and our wildlife. So thanks to her efforts and again City Council, they created the Prime Desert Woodland Preserve, and it opened in 2001. When people come here for the first time, they don't expect to see a lot of our nature being captured in our trails, and they learn a lot about the native of the Antelope Valley and the Mojave Desert, which they didn't know about before. Usually a lot of our residents just pass by Joshua trees and don't even know that they're so unique to the Mojave Desert. So they have this expression that they actually know and they feel like they're home and they understand where they live. They're able to capture that essence of the beauty of the Antelope Valley and the desert. And we have multiple trails, and within our trails we have a variety of wildlife and plants. Some of them being the Joshua tree, creosote bush, and the California juniper.
So this is our California Joshua tree, very important to our desert, being that this desert and surrounding deserts in Nevada and Texas are the only places on the planet where these trees grow. They have these green spines on the ends, which are actually very sharp and tough, so we try not to stand too close to these trees. They continue to grow out of these green bushels of spines and grow outwards. As you can see, this is the husk of as the tree continued to grow. And then as they get taller, the husks and the spines fold downwards, which gives the trees kind of this furry look. These trees are protected in California, meaning that ordinary people cannot cut them down, they cannot remove them. And one reason for that is, again, this is the only place on the planet they grow, and they take an extremely long time to grow. A rough estimate is for every foot tall that the tree is, it took it 50 years to grow. So this group of Joshua trees is a perfect example of what is called the cloning process and how these trees grow. What looks here like possibly 15 to 20 individual trees is actually only around 2 or 3 trees, because their roots, instead of growing downwards like a lot of trees you would see in a neighborhood, the roots grow outwards very close to the ground. And then they pop up again and start growing what looks like a completely new tree, but it is all the same tree. So this bush here is the creosote bush. As you can see right now, it's actually blooming. All of these bright yellow flowers. And it'll only stay this way for several weeks throughout the year. And then these flowers will turn into fuzz pods, exactly like a dandelion would. And then the wind will carry those pods away, and that's its seeds. That fuzz is the seeds of this bush, and that's how they grow. These are the oldest living plants in the Antelope Valley. This bush here is actually over 900 years old. The oldest living, still living creosote bush in the Antelope Valley is over 11,000 years old. So as we walk along our trails in the Prime Desert Woodland Preserve, you can come across these plaques which give lots of information about our plants and our animals. This plaque here is teaching us about this tree, the Fremont cottonwood, named Fremont after the man who discovered the tree, and called cottonwood because compared to all of the other plants in the desert, the wood is very white in color, similar to cotton, hence the name cottonwood. These trees were very important to settlers that first came to this desert, as well as the natives who lived here before them. As you can see, they're full of very bright, thick green leaves. So during the middle of summer, when it is extremely hot outside, you can sit under these trees, and it is a very noticeable difference, probably 10 to 15 degrees of a difference in temperature just from walking under these trees. This is our juniper bush. These plants are very special to the animals living in this preserve, being that if you can see the whitish blue colored berries that are covering this bush, that's one way how we can tell that this is the female of the bush. Inside of those berries is the seeds, and the male plants of the junipers have tiny little pine cones that are almost too small to see with your eye. And these berries are a good source of food for our rabbits, our squirrels, sometimes even coyotes will eat them. And it's also a very good source for water. These plants hold their water in the berries, so for animals that live in an area where water open on the ground is very rarely available, they can eat these berries and get water that way to help them survive. Also, you can see that this bush here is on a big mound of dirt. It wasn't always like this. It didn't just start growing on top of the mound of dirt. When it started growing, the dirt was at this level, and through time, when the plant grew, its roots grew into the ground and the wind carried the rest of the dirt away. These plants are good for helping to stop wind erosion from taking the dirt away. The rabbits love to dig their burrows underneath these plants because the roots hold the dirt in place so it doesn't fall in on top of their head. I love my job very much. Growing up as a child, I was in the scouting program. I was always into outdoors, camping, hiking. I always loved animals very much. So becoming a ranger, it allows me to be outside, hike through our trails and see our animals. So every single day I come out here, I enjoy what I do very much, and so it's almost like not working at all.
I think these trails are amazing because it gives you the opportunity to just come here and walk or run. So it gives you the security of having a path to walk in. You can also see, the Joshua trees that are all around our preserve. You're able to see California juniper trees and all these other desert plants that are so unique and so important to our desert.
Throughout our preserve, we have plenty of these bridges. This is actually the longest bridge in our preserve that we have. It's just a nice spot for us to get up and above the rest of the preserve. It's also safer for some of the areas where it's a bit thicker, the sand's a bit deeper and softer, so it's harder to walk through.
So welcome to the Prime Desert Woodland Preserve, and come on and check out the Ellis Clifford Interpretive Center. Our building is made out of bales of straw, and it's the only building in California to be made out of bales of straw. So here to your right is the rammed earth wall, and the rammed earth wall is made of soils from the Prime Desert Woodland Preserve, and it shows examples of stratification. We can see examples out down here. When we do school tours, we come and we bring the kids and we show them, what's out here in our desert. We show them the rammed earth wall. We also show them some of the other playthings that they can do in the fun environment. We have snake skins on display, coyote skin, rabbit skin.
So these are several of the skins of some animals that you can see here at our preserve. We have a cottontail rabbit's fur. This is the pelt of a full-grown coyote, which we do have a couple of them living in our preserve at this time. This is the skin of a diamondback rattlesnake, and this is actually the shedded skin of a snake. So this is what you can find to tell that there are snakes living in your area. So besides the furs that show them what they can look like when they're alive, we also have skulls, full skeletons, and other small bone fragments of animals that do live around this valley that you can possibly find. Like we have a snake skeleton, frog, lizard, and bat, full skeletons. Underneath, we have the antlers of a deer that tend to live more in the mountains of this area. Along this side, we have plenty of examples of bird skulls and the nests that they like to make. Below the skulls is our state bird, the California quail, very noticeable by the little black question mark looking feather that they keep on top of their head. And this is a really cool example. This is the core of a Joshua tree. It's the reason why they are very good survivalists in the desert where we do not receive a lot of rainfall. Their core is identical to a sponge. It soaks in water really well and doesn't let it go.
All of our animals in the Mojave Desert are very important to us. So we actually focus our Park Ranger Outreach Program and teaching kids about the animals in the Mojave Desert and in the Prime Desert Woodland Preserve. We also have a book area where we like to bring our kids and read them books, tell them stories about the Prime Desert Woodland Preserve and the desert that we live in. Thanks to the Museum of Art and History, also known as MOA, we partnered up with them and we were able to remodel the new interpretive center. They actually came up with great ideas and actually we made the entire interpretive center inside. Brought us new display items for the kids to enjoy. They actually created this rock wall where we were able to search for stones, search for bones and minerals, and teaching the things they learned in geology and bringing them over to a play area. They also helped us create a nice sitting book area, the wall that's behind me, and the animal demonstrations of the Mojave Desert. They've actually done an amazing job, as you can tell, and we invite everybody to come and check out our new remodeled Prime Desert Woodland Preserve. We actually encourage a lot of our kids to come out and do walk shows, and we provide free tours for the community for that exact same reason, to encourage the public to come out and walk and exercise and actually enjoy the beauty that is out here, because I think a lot of technology has made us isolated inside, and we always want to make sure that they understand that there's still a lot of beautiful things out here, and we want to invite the people to come out and walk the trails and understand the beauty of the Antelope Valley.
I believe it's important to tell people about the animals that live here because each animal plays its very special part in the health of our ecosystem. Our rabbits help keep a lot of weeds and bad vegetation down from eating that. Our coyotes keep the rabbit population down because if there's too many of them, then eventually they will eat all of our plants. And even though a lot of people do not like snakes at all, they do play a very important part at keeping our rodent population down, which helps keep all the other animals healthy.
So one of our most successful events is the Park Ranger Outreach Program. Basically, the Park Ranger Outreach Program gives schools or organizations the opportunity to come out to our preserve and receive free tours from our park rangers. And we also give them the opportunity that if they can't come to us, we're able to go to them. They get to learn about the wildlife that exists in the Mojave Desert, the plants, the animals, our snake skins, rabbit skins, coyote skins, and why it's so important to captivate the beauty of the Antelope Valley.
I love being outside and getting a chance to connect with people, but in a unique way where we're walking and like having to do something kinetic, because I think when you have movement plus thought, it creates this really beautiful experience where you're connecting with nature, you're thinking about what God's made.
I love this park. We come here all the time, just chill, vibe out with the family, you know, because they love nature and I love nature. There's a bunch of bunny rabbits over here. We got foxes, we got coyotes.
It's nice. You get to see like the natural environment in the middle of town, and we come out here and meet up people to do Pokemon Go, and also I bring my daughter over here sometimes to go walk the trails.
It was very nice, very quiet, very relaxing. Actually, I think I'm going to bring my dog here.
I love the peacefulness of being out in nature, but it's still being really close to home. And I love being able to just walk through the fields and see all kinds of wildlife just 5 feet away.
I love the Prime Desert Woodland Preserve.
We want to make sure that our residents are aware of where they live and why the beauty it is that they live in the desert.
A lot of reactions from the kids are awe and fascination, because a lot of the times the kids unfortunately don't see these animals, being that they like to run around and play outside, and that does end up scaring them away. So a lot of the times when they come here, we encourage them, if they're going to walk out on our trails, to try to stay quiet and walk slowly, and then they can see these animals for themselves.
Every month we have the moonwalks, and Jaimie Amrad is leader, and he walks out with the laser, points to the sky, and they're able to see the constellations. But we also have events like the Devil's Punch Bowl that bring out the animals here. We also have the Moons and Craters event where they show the difference between the moons and the phases of the moon. Richard Wade is always coming out here doing dinosaur presentations, volcano presentations, so we just bring a variety of presentations also to our local residents. Our events are always published in the City of Lancaster Outlook. You can also look us up in the City of Lancaster website or call the Park Ranger station at 661-723-6230.